Hey, Walt with MyCameraGrip.com here, and today we're going to talk about walls. So walls are the little walls that go around the outside of the base plate of your grip, and they help keep the plate in place on the camera, keep it from wiggling around too much. When you create a camera, we will automatically create 4 walls for you. So a front wall, a back wall, a left wall, and a right wall. And each of those walls will go from corner to corner. So the front wall goes from the left corner to the right corner of the camera, and they each all have a height of 2.5 millimeters and a thickness of 2.5 millimeters. And so like a left side wall would go from the back corner to the front corner. If you don't want any of those walls, you can certainly delete them up there, delete wall 1. And you can also actually add more walls. So if you don't want a wall to go from corner to corner, you can make it stop at, say 30 millimeters. And then you could come down here, create new wall, and start it, on the same, put it on the same side and start it at say 50 millimeters. And so you can get 2 different walls on the same side. On a given wall, if it doesn't start or stop at a corner, then we'll kind of bevel that end of the wall so it's not so like sharp and harsh. So on this camera here, the one we've been measuring, it's really kind of boring. It's basically we can just leave those 4 walls alone and we'll be fine. We already know the diameter of the lens and how far it is from the base of the camera, so we know what kind of a cutout to make. We know where the grip starts and where it ends, and so we know what to cut out from that front wall for you, and like that. So in this camera here, say the left side wall, there's nothing, the left side of the camera, there's nothing that would get in the way of the wall. Same with the back. These buttons are far enough from the bottom of the camera that they're not going to be impeded by the wall. The display back here doesn't articulate, so the wall will be just fine going across the back of that. And then the right side of the camera, same thing. The grip is high enough that it's not going to interfere, so it's kind of boring. On another camera, let's see, here's a Nikon, and this one has like a little sticky outy part in front. And so, right here, it's where the lens is. We're going to cut out the wall across here anyway, so we don't have to worry about that either. And then this grip that sticks out a lot, again, we don't have to worry about that because we're going to, if you choose a certain kind of grip that, anyway, never mind. We're gonna cut the wall out there. On the back of the camera, with the screen here, let me see, I don't remember how high that is, but you'd want to measure that and see how high that is from the bottom of the camera. I think it's only like 2 millimeters, so that one you'd probably want to adjust the back wall to only be 2 millimeters high, and you'd want to stop it over here. So that brings up another point. So on this camera, we measured, so we made this be the back left bottom corner of the camera, the kind of 0, 0, 0, where all the measurements start from. And so that means the wall would be out here under the screen. We could have included, like on the other camera, well, here's another camera that has a wall, has a screen that sticks out on the back, but again, it doesn't articulate. So on this one also, we kind of have a choice of whether to, let's see here, make our 0, 0, 0 point be here or back here. If we make it back here, then the wall is really not going to touch this part of the camera over here, because the wall will be like out here. If we make it back here, then we need to make sure the wall doesn't hit the bottom of the screen. On this one also, if you notice, the camera kind of slopes back here. So if we come over to this other side, right, we see that slope continues. You might be kind of tempted to make one wall go from the corner over to here and be like, 1.5 millimeters tall, and then start another wall over here and have it go to the end and have it be taller. The problem with that, though, is that both of the walls will start kind of along this edge here, and with that slope, it's going to push that wall and the whole grip kind of back. So that's kind of a bad day. So actually on this camera, I would just have one wall that goes the entire width of the camera. And what else? Over on this side of the camera, you see that it's really rounded like that. And so we kind of have to choose, do we want the wall to start over here? So this is where the 0, 0, 0 point would be, and we'd measure which it kind of was, because when we measure this camera, we measure from this wall here. So I don't know what I'm saying. This is really this really is no big deal, because the wall's over here and sticking out this direction, sticking out over this way. So this curve is really not going to interfere with our wall at all. We don't have to consider it when we're measuring things or deciding how tall or whatever the wall should be. And it's similar with the curve here of the front of the camera. We already dealt with that when we measured the corners of the camera, and we measured the camera corners and put in those curve radiuses. So our walls will follow those radiuses. And so we're pretty much good to go. The one weirdness on this camera maybe is that the battery door kind of can stick out beyond the camera itself. And so we actually take care of that too. So if you measure this camera and you say, here's the end of my camera, and over here's the end of my battery door, then we'll make the wall stick out further, just so you have kind of a plate that goes all the way around and doesn't have like a bar sticking there and a bar sticking there, and it'd be goofy. So that's kind of it. That's walls. Thanks.